Happy Tuesday. Hopefully all of you had a really good weekend. Hopefully Monday's classes went well for you. Today is going to be a pretty easy lesson. I won't sugarcoat it, but it's going to be short because I just want to introduce you to basically the project that we'll be working on probably this week and next week. So there's part of it. Some hydraulic hoses and some old tires and wheels. Some old rusty parts that work as far as I know. That is a hydraulic pump. That is a hydraulic control arm with detent, meaning that if you push in one way, it stays there until the hydraulic pressure builds enough that then it kicks it out of gear or out of position. And then it's going to get better. There's this. McMullen, what did you buy? What is this? McMullen bought himself, I'm going to call it Franken Splitter. It's a log splitter. If you couldn't figure it out, it was built in November of 1983. McMullen, does this thing even work? Yes, the motor runs. I fired it up. What day was that? Saturday? Friday. I don't remember. Friday or Saturday, I fired it up. The only thing wrong with it is it looks like somebody probably dropped a log on it or something, or a piece of firewood, and smashed the gas tank. It doesn't leak. It just has a, half cup dent in it. Has the hookup. Ignore the pulley that's right there. But it has the hookup for the hydraulic pump. The hydraulic pump mounts there. We already have our first project right here. I've done a little bit of work on it. As you can see, I've already taken it apart. I want to paint it. I'm going to paint it the same color as my tractor, the big Ford. And that's because right now it's all primer brown. Then I'm going to paint it Ford red. We need to repack the bearings. Yes, it spins and everything, but let's repack them and put some caps on it. We'll do a nice lesson on that. So one lesson will be repacking the bearings. Another lesson is going to be rebuilding the actual hydraulic cylinder. I'm going to get new seals for it. I've never done one before. Somebody called me up and walked me through it. I guess it's pretty simple, but there's some seals inside there that we're going to replace. So that's going to be another fun thing that we're going to do. The hydraulic lever. These are my tomato plants for the farm, so don't freak out. The hydraulic lever, I guess, is kind of faulty, is what the previous owner told me. So it's like $80-some for a new one, rather than spend $30 and $40 and $50 here and there for seals and try to rebuild it, which I've never done. I'm going to order a new one. When you're messing around with, a couple thousand PSI, pounds per square inch of hydraulic pressure, I'm not going to mess around with it. That's how somebody gets their, finger cut off or worse. This pump works fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So we're going to continue to use it. I may paint it up. It has some surface rust. The hydraulic hoses. There's people running by. The hydraulic hoses, they're a little weather checked. They have some cracks in them. Hydraulic hoses are cheap. We'll replace them. Again, when you're talking about multiple PSI, thousands of PSI, we're not going to take a chance. So, a few little things. Where'd you get this from, McMullen? It's a long story. It's a really long story. Is it pretty? No, it definitely was made by a farmer. Will it work? Oh, it's going to be awesome. That pusher plate, to give you an idea, there's my hand. This thing's big. The wedge, there's my hand. So, you could put a 50-gallon drum-sized log on here, and it, the Tractor Supply, log splitters, the actual wedge goes through the board. On ours, it's going to be the actual log itself gets pushed through the wedge. So I'm excited for this. Whoever did the welds on this, they definitely had a stick welder. There's nothing on here that's been MIG'd. McMullen, how can you tell? Well, look real carefully at those welds. there's overcut, a little bit of undercut, but you can see just by their formation, and we'll look at here, there's still slag on this. They never even chipped off the slag. So it's very obvious this whole thing was arc welded, which again tells me it was probably a farmer built it. That's okay. So, I mean, if they're splitting wood and things aren't breaking, you know the welds are going to hold. Whoever added this thing on, it's to catch the firewood after it splits, it falls to the sides. It must have been an afterthought because it looks a little bit newer. They didn't fully weld things. They just kind of tacked them with the arc welder. They probably ran it super hot. And that was pretty typical of farmers. They'll turn their machine up real hot. They'll lay down just a little tacky bead. And since it's so hot, you know, it's going to hold. Is it right? No. Will it work? Yeah, probably. Is McMullen going to go back with a MIG welder and clean that up? Yes. The hook underneath, I have no idea what it's for. They could have repurposed this I-beam and done something with it. The actual hubs, everything spins, everything seems pretty decent. The motor, it does run 8 horse Briggs & Stratton. I want to build some kind of protective, either like cover or sleeve for this pump, because the idea is that this actually, since it has trailer hubs on it, you could take it down the highway on like a, you know, store-bought log splitter, which can only do like 30 miles per hour. This could potentially do highway speeds. With that being said, I don't want rocks and stuff to get kicked up and damage the filter. So I'm going to build something for that. I'm just not sure yet. So we've already got quite a few little, you know, projects we can talk about. I know Thursday we're gonna pack bearings. That's something that a lot of people don't know how to do. They'll buy a trailer from Tractor Supply or wherever, and then, you know, they'll run down the road at 75 miles per hour on the highway, and then you see, you know, the trailer up on blocks or off to the side because they burned up bearings. So we're going to show you the proper way that I pack bearings by hand. They do make some machines that'll help you pack them, but we're going to show you the old-fashioned way. It's messy, dirty, but I've never had a bearing fail that I've packed. You can see there's some oil stains on this thing. But yeah, I got this for, you know, a reasonable price. We're going to fix it up and we're going to paint it and see if it runs. So I'm excited. I honestly did I did need a log splitter, but I thought this would be a great project that we could all work on together through the internet. So there is no lesson, or I'm sorry, there is no assignment tied to this lesson. This is just an overview of what we're going to be doing this Thursday. This Thursday, I'm going to show you a video on how to pack wheel bearings. And then I'll have some questions for you. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope there's, you know, I haven't seen a ton of questions on the assignment, so I'm assuming most people are getting them pretty well. I hope everybody's being safe and doing well. Remember, if you have any questions, you can message me through Remind. You can email me. If you use the Remind app, I pretty much respond, I wouldn't say instantly, but pretty darn quick. So again, and then the last thing we'll talk about here, before my sign off, is, hey, recognize this from the metal shop? There it is. There's the trailer that we built Mr. Thompson. It's done. I had it hooked up. I took it down the road. I actually filled up a giant water tank and tested it out with weight. We got it weighed. The trailer, I'm not saying it's an assignment, but if you want to shoot me a message to Remind or an email on your guess for a weight, I'll give you a shout out if you're close. It's under 2,000 pounds, I can tell you that. So the trailer does weigh under 2,000. We got it weighed over at S&S in Clio. Great people. One of Mr. McMullen's former students, Lauren Short, him and his dad run the place. But we got it weighed up. Everything's painted. The boards are on. The lights are wired. The brakes are wired. It's ready to roll. Mr. Thompson's dad, I told him, come and pick it up tomorrow. So maybe sometime tomorrow they'll be coming to pick it up. But it turned out really nice. I should wash it. I ran down a dirtier road or dirt road when I had it loaded for a test run, and I should wash it just because I feel a little guilty. But it's a nice trailer. If he doesn't want it, I'll keep it. But no. He's already paid for this stuff, which helped buy some of our welding equipment this year. So we need to get it to him. But I hope everybody's doing well. I'm looking at the time. Looks like I actually made a 10-minute video. So take care. Stay safe. Remember, stay home still. We're still under quarantine. Hopefully everybody's doing well. I'm doing fine. Have a great night. Or I should say good morning. It's Tuesday morning night. Whew. I need to get more sleep. Take care, folks.